So if you want to start just by introducing yourself, and kind of describing the field of law that you work in, that would be great.
Sure. So my name's Supreet Chinnan. I'm a director of legal at Google. I've been practicing law for over 20 years, and the area of the law that I specialize in is technology transactions. So what that means is that I handle contracts negotiations in the technology space, where either we are selling technology, we are licensing in technology, or maybe we're doing an alliance together where we're going into the market together under some sort of partnership. Then I also help companies get their products out the door and to market, making sure that they are complying with different rules and regulations and contractual commitments.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds really interesting. Just to get more of an understanding of your daily routine, could you describe some of the different things that you would do on a daily basis?
Yeah, so now my job is a little bit different because I lead a team of legal professionals that, handle technology law and transactions. So what my team does on a daily basis is they work with their internal clients and help them figure out how to structure deals. They draft contracts. They also will be negotiating with third parties, or they'll be working internally with different stakeholders about the changes in the contracts to explain the risks and help them figure out how they want to move forward. Also, other parts of my teams will meet with the engineering teams internally to understand more about the products that they want to launch. They'll give them advice about different legal risks that could come up in the way they want to launch products and help them get out the door. What I spend a lot of my time doing now is just helping my team to do these things, help them get unblocked. Maybe we're brainstorming how to get how to mitigate risk on certain legal issues, or how they can explain the risk a little bit better to the business teams in ways that they can understand. And then I also work a lot with our executive leadership team on the business side to give them guidance on how legal risks are impacting their ability to do business and help them determine the best business path forward.
Awesome. If you had to kind of choose, what would you say that your favorite parts of your job are, as of now?
So I love the people aspect of it. It's really great to grow a team and to see people on your team really flourish and be the best they can be. So that's the great part about being a leader in a legal department. And then on the more technical side, what I really like is being able to problem solve. That's where a lot of the creativity and fun comes in for me, looking at the end goal that we're trying to achieve, and then looking at what are customers and partners goals, what are the goals of the business, how do legal factors play into it, how does regulation coming out of different countries or the US play into our strategy. And so helping to figure out how we can overcome obstacles, that's the best part for me.
Yeah, definitely. I think all of that is important in any job too. Kind of on the same note, what would you say that your greatest career strength, or if there's an achievement that you're really proud of, what would you say that would be?
So I think one of my biggest achievements or things that I'm proud of is when I started the team that I lead now. We started out with just 5 lawyers, and we've now expanded to, well beyond 30 and 40. But I've been able to keep that culture of collaboration and the get it done attitude, and to really help each other out and be creative. I'm really proud of being able to keep that mentality on the team, especially as we've grown so quickly. And the division of Google that I support has grown kind of exponentially in the last 5 to 6 years, and it's been so fun to be a critical part of that.
Yeah, that's so special. Kind of looking back, is there a moment or a time in your life that you remember that like particularly like sparked your interest in law?
Yeah, so I actually studied industrial engineering and operations research in my undergrad, and I had an internship at a technology company, and I serendipitously sat next to the in-house legal department. And I just asked one of them if we could go to lunch together so I could learn more about what it was like to be a lawyer. And they let me do a project for them over the summer. And I really realized through that experience that that was what gave me more energy. And it was an area I was really interested in because it brought together, my background in engineering and business, and also with the legal field, which I found super interesting. So that was a really great opportunity for me to have some hands-on experience when I was still, I think I was maybe a sophomore or junior in college.
Yeah, that's so cool that it just worked out like that.
Yeah.
Um, are there any steps that you took when you were younger that you think were the most important to getting you where you are now?
Yeah. I think it was, just being open to different opportunities. So even this internship that I mentioned, I had been talking to a family friend about my interest in learning more about how I could apply the skills I learned in my major, and had some conversations with some of their friends, and that they were the ones that told me about the internship program. And so I think being curious, being open, being okay switching paths. I went to college thinking I was going to come out an engineer, and I've ended up being a lawyer. So just really being open to the opportunities that come your way, and then making some of those opportunities for yourself as well.
For sure. And do you have any kind of like final words of inspiration or advice to younger kids and especially women too?
Yeah, I just think that this is, uh, you know, it's a different time from when I was coming up, and even when I was coming up was so different from before. The amount of work that the women before us have done to break down barriers,
Mhm,
just such a shame if you squander it. So what I would say is, be curious, learn from everyone. People are always willing to talk, especially if it's about themselves. They're very happy to do that, especially when it's, young people who are starting out in their careers. Most people are always willing to give that advice. So be curious and then take advantage of opportunity. And then when you're at a place where you can give opportunities to others, make sure you're doing that too. We've all benefited from so many people that were courageous and brave before us. And so I really think it's incumbent upon us to do the same for others too.
definitely. Yeah, that's so important.
Yeah, I think people who are interested in the legal field should really understand that there's so many different paths available to lawyers. I have lots of friends that I went to law school with that have very different careers from what they thought they were going to have when they started law school, or even where they started out when they finished law school. Some of them have stayed in the legal field, some of them have gone into completely different professions, but the training that a legal education gives you can make you very successful in a lot of different paths. It teaches you how to think. It gives you, great ability to problem solve. So that's one thing I would say, is that don't feel like you have to stick with the path that you started, especially in the legal field. There's so many opportunities available to you.
Mhm. I was also wondering, when you were in law school or around that time, were you ever interested in like a different type of law?
I went to law school thinking I was gonna be a patent lawyer, and to be honest, I think half of my family still thinks I'm a patent lawyer. Um, but I did realize, again, through internships, this was through an internship I had when I was a law student, that the patent world just wasn't quite for me. The type of work that came up there was not the work that sparked interest in me or a lot of passion in me. And so I did switch, and technology licensing is somewhat adjacent to patent law in the sense that it's still, in the technology field, but the type of law is very different. So I did make that switch. And that's where I think internships and having conversations with other lawyers is really important, because I was able to figure that out after my first my first summer after my first year of law school. And so then my second year of law school, I was able to take some different classes, meet with different people, and have a different type of internship after my second year that was more in the space that I was interested in rather than in patents.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's good that you got to try out new things and do what you liked in the end.